Title: The Domino Effect. Working at Domino's was a typical college job for me, and most nights were filled with the hustle and bustle of delivering pizzas to hungry customers. But there was one night, a seemingly ordinary Friday, that turned into a descent into the eerie and inexplicable. As I prepared to head out for a routine delivery, I noticed Jake, a coworker with a penchant for the peculiar, lingering near the pizza ovens. His eyes, usually concealed behind shaggy hair, locked onto mine with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. He grinned, a grin that seemed to harbor secrets better left undiscovered. The delivery order led me to a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of town, a place I had visited countless times without incident. However, this time felt different. The moon cast an eerie glow over the houses, and a sense of foreboding settled in the air. Upon reaching the address, I found a dilapidated mansion that seemed to defy the modernity of pizza delivery. I hesitated, but compelled by the routine of the job, approached the door. The creak echoed through the silent night as it opened, revealing a dimly lit interior. The customer, a gaunt figure with hollow eyes, gestured for me to enter. The air inside was thick with an oppressive stillness, and a strange aroma clung to the room. As I handed over the pizza, the customer's voice cut through the silence, whispering words that seemed to linger in the air. I quickly made my exit, eager to leave the unsettling atmosphere behind. The door closed with a haunting finality, and I realized with a start that Jake stood in the shadows nearby, watching. His grin had widened, a macabre reflection of the customer's unsettling smile. The following days at Domino's were anything but normal. Whispers of strange occurrences circulated among the staff. Pizzas were returned untouched, customers reported seeing shadows in the delivery vehicles, and the atmosphere within the pizzeria became tinged with an otherworldly tension. Late one night after closing, I found a stack of pizzas left behind in the kitchen. As I moved closer, I saw that each pizza bore a cryptic symbol drawn in a red substance that sent shivers down my spine. Panic set in as I realized the symbols matched those whispered by the customer in the eerie mansion. I confronted Jake, who was now a shadowy figure lurking in the corners of the pizzeria. His grin became a twisted mask, and he spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from beyond. "You delivered more than just pizza that night." In a desperate attempt to unravel the mystery, I enlisted the help of my coworkers. Together, we delved into the strange occurrences that had befallen Domino's. The symbols, the whispers, and Jake's ominous presence wove a tapestry of terror that threatened to consume us all. As we uncovered the truth, a dark ritual unfolded, revealing a connection between Jake and the mansion. The delivery that seemed routine had become a conduit for malevolent forces, and we were entangled in a web of supernatural horrors. With each passing night, Domino's transformed from a haven of cheesy delights into a realm of shadows and secrets. The Domino's effect, as we came to call it, left an indelible mark on our lives, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most mundane of places can become a stage for the darkest of nightmares. Title: The Deceptive Dominoes. It was a Friday night, and the familiar hustle of Domino's filled the air. I, the usual delivery driver, grabbed a stack of pizza boxes and headed out into the crisp darkness. Little did I know that this night would unfold into a sinister tableau of deception and danger. The delivery order seemed routine, leading me to an address on the edge of town. The GPS guided me through dimly lit streets until I found myself in front of a decrepit house, standing isolated and foreboding in the moonlight. I hesitated, glancing at the address again, questioning the legitimacy of the order. As I approached the door, a figure emerged from the shadows. A man in his 30s, clad in worn-out clothes, greeted me with a disarming smile. His eyes, however, betrayed a sense of desperation that sent a subtle warning through my instincts. "Hey, thanks for coming. Just follow me around back. My buddies are waiting there," he said, his voice attempting friendliness but tinged with an undercurrent of urgency. I hesitated, the uneasy feeling deepening. The glow of the streetlight flickered ominously, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch toward the vacant house. Against my better judgment, I followed the man around the side of the building. The back of the house revealed a desolate courtyard, surrounded by overgrown weeds and an unsettling silence. My pulse quickened as the man gestured toward a door, partially ajar. He urged me to step inside, assuring me that his friends were just through that door. As I entered, the door creaked shut behind me with a haunting finality. The room was dimly lit, and a chill permeated the air. Panic set in as I realized the man's friends were nowhere to be seen. Instead, I found myself alone, trapped in an abandoned house with a stranger who now wore a malevolent grin. "You should have brought more than just pizza," he sneered, revealing his true intentions. I fumbled for my phone, desperate to call for help, but the man lunged forward, brandishing a knife. Fear surged through me as he demanded money and valuables. The room seemed to close in, the shadows conspiring against me. In a desperate bid for escape, I feigned compliance, promising to hand over everything in the car. As we reached the front door, a surge of adrenaline propelled me to break free. I sprinted into the night, the man's shouts fading behind me. I reached the safety of the Domino store, breathless and shaken. The police were called, and they investigated the eerie house on the edge of town. The man was apprehended, but the shadows of that night lingered, casting a haunting pall over the once familiar streets. The deceptive Domino's delivery had morphed into a perilous encounter, a cautionary tale that highlighted the dangers hidden within the routine of everyday life. It served as a chilling reminder that even in the seemingly ordinary, malevolence could lurk, waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting in a web of deceit and danger. Title: The Delivery Nightmare. It was just another evening at Domino's, the smell of pizza wafting through the air as I prepared to embark on my delivery route. The address on the order led me to an isolated neighborhood on the outskirts of town, a place I hadn't ventured before. The GPS guided me through dimly lit streets until I found myself in front of a worn-down house, nestled between overgrown trees. My unease grew, but the lure of a generous tip kept me from turning back. Little did I know, this decision would lead me into a nightmarish ordeal. I parked my car under the flickering streetlight, the shadows dancing in eerie patterns. As I approached the house with the pizza box in hand, a sense of foreboding crept over me. The door creaked open slowly, revealing a man in his 40s, his eyes shadowed by the brim of a tattered hat. He greeted me with a forced smile, paying for the pizza in crumpled bills. I handed over the box, attempting to conceal my discomfort. Just as I turned to leave, he muttered something about a flat tire, an unsettling smirk playing on his lips. Confused, I walked back to my car only to discover the chilling reality. All 4 tires had been slashed. Panic surged through me as I realized I was stranded in this desolated neighborhood with no way to escape. I glanced back at the house, and the man stood in the doorway, watching my predicament with a malevolent satisfaction. Fear settled in as I considered my options. The nearest gas station was miles away, and my phone had no signal. The street grew quieter, and a chilling wind whispered through the trees. I tried to flag down passing cars, but the neighborhood seemed abandoned, as if the very air had frozen in place. The man in the hat remained in the doorway, his presence casting a sinister shadow over the scene. As the minutes turned into hours, desperation set in. I debated whether to approach the man for help or make the long, eerie trek to find assistance. Just as I hesitated, a distant sound echoed through the silence, the soft hum of an approaching engine. Relief washed over me as headlights pierced the darkness. A kind stranger stopped and offered to drive me to the nearest service station. As we left the haunted neighborhood behind, I glanced back one last time. The man in the hat stood there, a twisted figure fading into the shadows. The incident left an indelible mark on my Domino's deliveries, a reminder that the familiar routine could morph into a chilling ordeal. The night I became stranded in that isolated neighborhood became a cautionary tale among my co-workers, a story of a man who slashed more than just tires, He slashed the thin veil that separates the ordinary from the inexplicable horrors lurking in the dark. Title: The Delivery Trap. Working the late shift at Domino's usually meant routine deliveries and late-night cravings, but one particular order would plunge me into a nightmarish game of survival. The delivery address led me to a quiet suburban neighborhood, the houses standing like silent sentinels against the night. As I approached the designated house, a sense of unease washed over me. The porch light flickered ominously as I knocked on the door. A man in his mid-40s answered, his eyes hollow and distant. He mumbled something about needing the pizza quickly and hastily paid with crumpled bills. I handed over the box, trying to shake off the feeling that something was off. As I turned to leave, he blocked the doorway with an unnerving smile. Suddenly a sharp pain shot through my head, and the world blurred. When I came to, I was bound to a chair in a dimly lit room, the man from the doorstep standing over me. The air was thick with tension, and the room seemed to close in with every beat of my heart. He revealed a sinister motive, a twisted game where he targeted Domino's delivery drivers for a sick form of entertainment. Panic surged through me as I realized the depth of the danger I was in. My every instinct screamed for escape, but the ropes held me captive. As he reveled in his sick game, a sudden stroke of luck intervened. The man's phone rang, a call from an unknown number. He hesitated, allowing me a brief moment to assess my surroundings. The room was cluttered with bizarre objects, hinting at a disturbed mind. I managed to knock the chair over, the clatter echoing through the silent house. Seizing the opportunity, I crawled towards the door, my hands still bound. The man lunged after me, but the sudden intrusion of flashing lights and sirens sent him scurrying away. The police had traced the call, and my desperate plea for help had not gone unheard. Officers stormed the house, apprehending the man and freeing me from the nightmare. The room, once a chamber of horror, was now a crime scene. In the aftermath, the man's sinister plot unraveled. It turned out he had been luring Domino's delivery drivers into his trap for weeks, reveling in the twisted power he held over his victims. The news sent shockwaves through the community, and Domino's implemented new safety measures for its drivers. As I left the police station that night, the ordeal etched a permanent scar on my memory. The routine of delivering pizzas had transformed into a harrowing test of survival. The night still haunted my dreams, a chilling reminder that evil could lurk behind the most ordinary facades.